Let's talk about this week, week 23, the fantasy hockey season. So there are two teams that play 5 games. Just because they play 5 games doesn't mean you need to play them. The Nashville Predators have 5 games, and they start off strong. They play tonight, they play Tuesday, they play Thursday, and then they play Saturday and Sunday. So it's nice to start the week off strong, and then it's nice to finish off that way as well. But if you're not going to play these guys on Tuesday and Thursday and Saturday, then you just have to look elsewhere. But there are a couple guys that are just on my mind. And Ryan Ellis has been somebody we've talked about a lot. He's finally over that 50% mark, but just in case he isn't and people are not buying in, it's time to start believing in Ryan Ellis. He's got goals and points in his last 3 games. He's just on a career pace right now. And in fact, if you look at his numbers right there, all career highs breakout. 15 goals, 35 points, 11 power play points, plus 14, 123 blocks. The shots would be a career high. He did miss some time. At least 2 shots in 11 straight games, at least 2 blocks in 8 straight games. He's on that second power play unit with PK Subban. I mentioned the goals, 3 points in his last 4 games. Honestly, this kid is for real. And then let's go to Calle Jarnkrok. Mike Fisher missed the last 2 games, and he's not traveling with Nashville for these 2 road games tonight against the Islanders and then tomorrow against the Boston Bruins. Jarnkrok is having some chemistry right now with James Neal. I know if you look at the points, he only has a couple in his last 4 games. He can definitely help you out in deeper leagues, so he does have 15 goals, as you see there. 39 faceoffs won in the last 3 games rather. That's a positive. That's a plus. That's because Fisher's out of the lineup. He usually wins about 6 or 7 draws. Now he's winning about 14, 15 draws. If you're playing in leagues with faceoffs, I would really consider him. And then there's Craig Smith. I'll just throw him out there. 6 assists in his last 3 games. And Colton Sissons. That's not going to continue. Sissons had a hat trick the other night. That's not going to continue. All right, Carolina Hurricanes, the hottest team going right now in the NHL. They played 5 games 2 weeks ago, and all these guys were talked about. Then they were dropped, and now they're getting picked up again. Elias Lindholm enters tonight's game on a 10-game point streak. He's got 11 points over that span. He's been one of the hottest players going right now in the NHL. And then his line mate, Sebastian Aho, has got a 6-game point streak. He's shooting tons of pucks on net. These guys are on the power play. Both of them have been really, really good of late. For Lindholm, 4 goals, 11 points, 24 shots on goal in this 10-game point streak. And then for Aho, 3 goals, 5 assists, 3 of them on the power play over this point streak. And then Philip Di Giuseppe, PDG. And I only said it like that because I just don't want to butcher this guy's name, man. He just throws the body around, and I can't take any hits from him. Let's be real here, though. He is on this line. He's 0% owned in Yahoo, so don't tell me you have him. He's a sneaky DFS play, but if you're playing it with leagues of hits, I think he can bring something to the table. Yes, he's pointless in his last 3 games, but he has 21 hits in the last 5 games. Di Giuseppe, and 81 in the last 31 games. So, or you see there 31 games on the season. So this guy throws the body around. And then there's Jacob Slavin, sorry. He played, a couple weeks ago we talked about him. He has the 2nd most points among defensemen in the last 2 weeks, 7 points over that span. So there's some Carolina Hurricanes that you can get by rostering. Tonight, Detroit, tomorrow, Detroit, and then, like Nashville, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday to finish. Okay, let's tackle Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. Also playing tonight, though, the Chicago Blackhawks. So they play on all those games where there's just a small slate in the NHL. John Hayden is much like PDG. He throws his body around, and he's played 6 games. He's played them all with Taves, and he's been productive. You see there just a goal and 2 assists, but he's got 14 shots and 25 hits in those 6 games. He's a +4, so if you're not producing, at least throw your body around. That's exactly what he's doing. You got Nick Schmaltz, who was 5 for 38 in the faceoff circle, lost his starting position or center position between Panarin and Kane, but gained it back in a 7-0 loss to Florida. Believe it or not, he did. So he's back on that line, so he's worth an ad as well. And then if you get by this week, Colorado is on the schedule for Chicago to start off next week, so it's a positive. Then you got St. Louis, 4 games. They play Arizona twice and Colorado. It's a dream matchup. You got Patrick Berglund, who can help you out in the faceoff circle. He can really get it done for you. And then David Perron, as Paul Stastny is week to week. So for Berglund and Perron, Jaden Schwartz is the immediate ad. Had 8 shots on goal in 1 game a couple weeks ago. So keep an eye on those guys. The matchup is just too nice to pass up. And the same thing can be said here for the Washington Capitals. 4 games this week. They also play Arizona and Colorado. Justin Williams, who also had 8 shots on goal in a game just a couple weeks ago. He either plays with Evgeny Kuznetsov or Nicholas Backstrom. That's his centerman. So this is a great matchup for him. He loves to shoot the puck. He's got 3 points in his last 4 games. And again, most importantly is this matchup. Marcus Johansson is not a great ad, but again, exploiting these matchups. You got to like these matchups. These two teams give up a lot of rubber for Johansson. He's got 6 shots in his last 3 games. He's got 3 assists in his last 4. And then Andre Burakovsky is a deeper league ad. And then I'll just, before we get out of here, is just talk about the Pittsburgh Penguins again, as they also play Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. Brian Rust, I think, is a great ad. He's probably going to play with Sidney Crosby, and then you have Nick Bonino and Matt Cullen. So just keep an eye again on the rest of this, especially today, tonight, and especially